everything going here. I'm going to give people a few minutes to come on in. Hi, Lorna, my sister. Come on in, come on in. I know I only have 5 minutes, and I'm going to send it back to Princess in sub. Come on in, Gertina. Hi, Gertina. Share with your viewers. If you are on Android, swipe up from the bottom and share. If you are on an iOS, swipe to the right and share. And please vote for me. Get the hearts pumping. Pump some hearts for me and vote for me. I'm here to pitch my story. Get a little bit more time for more people to come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Please share, share, share. Pump the hearts. Pump the hearts. Pump the hearts. I love the hearts. I love the hearts. So I have 5 minutes. Don't know if I want to take the whole 5 minutes.
I just see all of my
But I first of all thank Princess of Suburbia for Princess Fumi Hancock for giving me this opportunity to give the first pitch ever for a book on Periscope. So I'm going down in history as being the first person to pitch. So I'm so grateful for that opportunity. I'm so grateful for everybody who's coming in to support me and to hear about my book. So I'm going to now get started. My name is Ramona Jones. I'm a poet and author. I'm a life coach, and I am also a budding business builder who's building my information empire. And I'm here to talk about my first book. Well, actually my second book, because I do have one book out already, From Tongue to Ear to Heart, So Says the Wise. But this is the book that's coming out that I'm pitching right now. Is the book that is going to be the foundation for my business. So, and how did I get here? First of all, it's going to be a series, and the series is Ramona Speaks. And why is it Ramona Speaks? Well, I've been told that my voice shall be heard. And I've always been speaking, but it's been a silent speaking. I've been speaking in journals that I've been hiding away from the world. And I've been speaking to people who are closest to me who will listen, because as I learn, I teach. I grew up in a home where my mother was a storyteller. I didn't think of her as a storyteller, and it was only after talking to Princess Fumi that in going back over my life, I realized that my mother really was a storyteller. And actually the first book that I wrote was about the stories, the adages, the Bible scriptures that she used to teach us as children. She said she did it to keep from whooping us so much. So she gave us all kind of stories, and she had a story about every situation, just about any situation you could possibly think of in life. She had a story to tell about it. And I've always been intrigued about like listening to her dreams or taking to heart what she told me in those stories. They came to save me in different situations. For instance, I remember one time when I was in class, and I came to the defense of another student that they were joning. We called it joning back in my day. And so I just said, you all should leave her alone. And then a girl turned on me, and she started talking about me and cursing me and saying all kind of evil stuff against me. And I sat there and I was really hurt by it. But the words that my mother said is that, only a fool will talk to himself. So don't be a fool with someone and sit up and have a conversation with them. Somebody has got to have sense. So I sat there looking at a book that I couldn't even read the words on the page because I was so angry. I wasn't reading anything, but I had to tell myself, turn the page. So they would think that I was reading. But actually I was so angry. But then I went home and told my mother, I said, I remember what you told me. So stories are very powerful. So I'm a storyteller. And writing is also very healing. So I'm also a writer, a poet. And I found my poetic gift in the 6th grade when I first was introduced to poetry. And from that point on, I've just been hearing poems or writing poems. And poems have come to rescue me, or just writing in my journal have come to rescue me in times of trouble. So in this book, Ramona Speaks, which is in the works, I'm still writing it. This is the first book. It's a prelude to a breakthrough. And why do I say a prelude to a breakthrough? It's because I'm right now coming out of some trouble, and I'm coming into my breakthrough. It's also about you coming out of your small space. Because a lot of times we're hiding. We're hiding our gifts. We're hiding who we really are. We're hiding our talents. Why? Because we don't feel like the world is waiting for is ready for us, or that the world is accepting of us, or we don't believe in ourselves. We lack the confidence, and that was me, and it's still me, developing into a new me. So I invite you to come along on this journey with me, a journey of self-discovery, a journey of prayer, and a journey of relationships. Relationship first with yourself, and then a relationship with God. That kind of relationships that uncovers who you really are, that calls you out of your hiding place, that calls you out of that small space where you've been living too small. You know you've got some big dreams inside of you. You know you've got some work to do. But because you thought nobody was listening, or nobody wanted to hear you, or because you thought that maybe you can't make money out of it, you just decided to go get a job. So I've come through some trouble. Trouble in my relationship, when you've invested so much into a relationship and then somebody comes and tells you that they don't want you anymore, and you're trying to hold on to them, but yet you know that it wasn't really good for you anyway, but you feel like you have so little that you won't get more, that there's no more for you, that you just hold on to what you have. But this book that I'm writing now is talking about how to let go. And it's talking about not just staying where you are, but coming out of that small space, that limited space, limited thinking, limited belief, limiting yourself, walling yourself in, building those self-protecting walls where you think you're protecting yourself, but really you're drying up, you're shriveling, you are dying on the vine, because you have gifts in you that you have decided that I'm going to keep this for myself. The world has taken so much from me, they're not going to get this, so I'm not going to give it. But you are doing yourself a disservice, because you are dying on the vine when you can be living. I'm reminded of the Dead Sea. They said that the Dead Sea is dead and nothing lives in it because there's no flowing water. There's no clean water flowing into it. So, therefore, nothing can live in it. So if you wall yourself in, thinking that you're protecting yourself from other people, instead of giving of yourself, giving freely. When we withhold, the universe withholds as well. But when we give, when we heal, when we decide that we're not going to let anything keep us small, we're not going to let anything stop our giving, then we can open up and we can release. We can say, okay, I've given you some good years, but I haven't given you my best years, because why? My best years are always ahead of me. I've given you a lot. What you did with it, it's up to you. But it was a good gift. I gave you a good gift. And if you didn't treat it right, that's to your loss. But I'm going to keep on giving. I'm going to love like I've never been hurt. I'm going to trust like I've never been put into a place where I couldn't trust anybody. I'm going to forgive like I've never been injured. I'm going to forgive like forgiving is my life's breath. I'm going to keep on giving no matter what. And that's easily said rather than done. So the book that I'm writing is going to talk to you about how to get on your knees and get on your face, to get that inner strength that you need to let some stuff go, to heal, to bring yourself out of that small space. You know that those gifts in you have been calling to you. They've been saying, you know, those dreams that you put on the shelf, those books that you may have in you to write. And guess what? We all have books to write, because we've all been in trouble and we've all come out. So when we come out of trouble, there are two things that we birth. We birth ourselves first. And so that's your story right there. That's your birthing story. And then we birth those things that are in us to give, whether it's a business, or whether it's a ministry, or whether it's a book, or whether it's the designs that you wanted to do ever since a child. Whatever that thing is that you felt the world wouldn't treat well, whatever that thing is that you felt that, you know, nobody would love or cherish like you, whatever that thing is that you even hid behind, because sometimes we hide behind stuff and say, well, I can't do it because I got this. We're going to settle for less than we are really worth. So my book is encouraging people to live loud, to live big, and to leave a legacy. And so if you think that this book can help you, if you are with me, my sister would say, I'm with you when you're right. So if you enjoy this topic and you think it's going to be a blessing to you, pump up the hearts. Pump up some hearts. Pump up the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. I see cupcakes. I see blue hearts. I see burgundy hearts, red hearts. Come on with the hearts. So I thank you for this opportunity to share my book. It's going to be coming out on April the 24th. And it is the first in the series of Ramona Speaks. And it's going to be about relationships. And this very first book is the relationship with yourself and with God. It's really uncovering who you really are, who you've been hiding, and encouraging you to step full into the light, examine yourself, examine your why, and why you can't stay small, why you have to get out and do what God has called you to do. And it's going to be a blessing. I know. Why? Because it's blessing me. It's taking me from a place of smallness. And the other thing that I would say too is that I also was displaced from my job, which the universe was telling me that, it's time for you to stop playing small. Sometimes everything gets snatched away from us because it's our wake-up call to say, look, I've been calling you for a long time. It's time to say yes. So thank you for listening. Again, I'm Ramona Jones, and this has been a pitch for my book through. So thank you for doing that. And now to go and get the review of